Hello, beautiful people. Hello, Facebook. How are you all? Happy to see you live again. Just give you a few minutes for those of you who follow these lives to find me. And if you catch this video live, please say hi, say who you are, say your name, where you're from. And if we have never met before, if that's your first time you see this video live or you will see this video in replay, my name is Natalia. I am an inner mastery and consciousness mentor. And today I will talk about how do you know where you are, whether you are in your essence, so being yourself, or you are in your personal self or ego, another term for that. So by the way, if you watch this video in replay, please hashtag replay. Let me know that you watched it and let me know if it's landing for you. Let me know if you have any insights or any revelations, or also let me know where you are. Where do you find yourself most of the times? And it's important to know where you are because it's not always so straightforward, especially if you are in your early stages of inner transformation or awakening. And often it happens, awakening is happening and spiritual growth is happening in stages, depending how deep you go within yourself. So first and foremost, what you need to know is you need to know who you are. So you need to know the place of your essence, the first and foremost, because some people think that they know what it is, but they are not. What they know, it's just the idea that they have in their head, rather than what exactly is essence. So first and foremost, you need to know. And how would you know? You would know when someone show shows it to you, when someone guides you to your essence through reflecting their state. Now, that's what I'm doing with my clients all the time. That is the starting point. We start with understanding ourselves. We start with knowing ourselves and actually understanding the place of essence. So we have really, we have clarity what it is. So there is no confusion as to what it is and where it is, and if it's out there somewhere, there is no confusion what do you need to do to get there. So that is the first step. So the clarity on what it actually is. Now, if you know this place, you're shown, you are guided to this place, there is a time where there is a transformation happening, where you shift from the usual way of your activity, the usual way you operate, into operating from the depths of yourself. And that is what I'm going to talk about today. That is when you may not know clearly where you stand, where it can be very subtle, where it can be quite confusing to see, well, where exactly I am and where I'm acting from. So today I'm gonna tell you a few points that could help you to um, navigate your understanding, so you could identify them in yourself. So first and foremost, if you are in your mind or in your emotions, you are not in your essence. So that is the first fundamental distinction that you can make. I mean, when I say you are not in your essence, I have to do a side quote here. You are always in your essence, because that is always within you. But what I mean is that you are not acting from this place. You are acting from the layer that is a surface layer, because your mental and emotional field is a surface layer. It's not really who you are. It's what you believed yourself to be by years of identification with your mind and emotions. So if you find yourself thinking, and you can think about anything at all, it does not matter what you think about, because some people think that if they're thinking about God, or they're thinking about some spiritual stuff, they are not in their mind. Well, that is not the case. Any thinking takes you away from your essence. Doesn't matter if you think about God, or you think about having an ice cream. So any thought just distracts your attention from the place of your essence. Now, when you are emotional, you are not in your essence. So when you're emotional, what do I mean by when you're emotional? We are used to live in the world where we are so much identifying with our thoughts and emotions that we cannot really separate ourselves from them. And especially when it comes to emotion, our emotional self. And you need to understand what your emotional self is, because emotional mastery is a starting point of your inner transformation. Without that, there is no deepening in your essence. If you do not have emotional mastery, your any of your spiritual attainments don't mean a thing. Now, when it comes to emotions, most of your emotions are subconscious. This is a subconscious deep layer where all your um, all the insecurities, all self-doubt, all fear, all guilt, all shame, all that layer is in your subconscious, and and it arises often, or for some people, most of the times, and it clouds your perception of reality. So, what happens is that you cannot perceive the fact in front of you, you cannot perceive the reality. For example, if you are frustrated, or if you are angry, you would not be able to see things straight. You would not be able to get to the truth in the situation. And same is applies to more subtle emotions, which you cannot so easily recognize, like anger or fear, for example. Subtle emotions like self-doubt or insecurity, they are not so easily recognizable, and they could hide as, for example, postponement, or hide as your unwillingness to do something that you want to do, or where you are limiting your self-expressions and the fullness of and brightness of yourself, by justifying that by finding any kind of justifications for yourself why you don't do that. So whatever you are emotional, that can be very very tricky, because for there are so many emotions for which you cannot even uh, give any identifications what it is, but something arises from the depths of yourself, and then suddenly you become moody. So you become moody, or you become irritated, or you become slightly uh, or not so slightly agitated. So any of that things means that you are not in your essence. Now, so the preparatory step for you to embody your essence is to deal with understanding, or that's the understanding and growing in self-knowledge, so you can actually distinguish where you are, whether you are acting from your mind and emotions, and usually it comes in subtle ways, as I said, or you are shifting deeper. Now, for example, one of the ways when you are not in your essence is when you cannot accept the reality of the present moment, because your personal self or your ego is always in opposition. It's always it always wants to create create conflicts. So wherever you are not accepting what is in front of you, so you're feeling resistance, or you're feeling, as I said, an opposition, you are in your personal self. You are in your mind and emotions. Now, if you are not accepting what it is in front of you in the present moment, what's going to happen in this case? You will create the projections for the future. So that and that projections on the future would not necessarily be accurate, because they would be based on dissatisfaction of the present moment. And that can be quite deep for some of you, and I invite you just to sit with that and to contemplate on that, because it's important that you see that the truth behind what's happening with you. So if you are not accepting the reality of the present moment, yeah, you will start getting emotional wants, and that means that you would like to be somewhere else. For example, you are unhappy where you are. Let's take it, you're unhappy in your current house, or you're unhappy in your current job, or you're unhappy with your current partner, and you will start to create the emotional wants of how you want to change things. And you will go and start changing the external circumstances, not realizing that the root is actually in you not accepting the reality of where you are now. And let me know if this is happening for you, because I'd like to hear that. Now, that can be a situation where you are not accepting your reality because the reality is not right for you. It can be the situation, but it can be also that your personal self is simply in opposition to the reality. Now, your essence, on the contrary, your essence does not have any resistance, does not have any oppositions with the present moment. Whatever is the reality in front of you, you accept it as it is. So it does not matter where you are. Yes, you can be in challenging circumstances. You can be not where you would like to be. But the main thing is that you accept it. Whatever that is in front of you, you accept it because you created that, whether from your personal self or from your ego, or you created that from your essence. But if you are not satisfied with that, most likely you created it from your personal self. So your essence accepts everything as it is. And if there are changes, of course, there may be changes that need to be done in your current situation to improve it. The essence will act based on acceptance of what it is now. For example, for many of you are business owners, and a very simple example that you might catch yourself doing is when you are when you are frustrating with the current reality of what you are getting in your business, where, for example, you are not hitting the targets that you set for yourself, so you cannot accept that. You are frustrated, and you are start making projections for the future, but being in resistance and frustration to the present moment, and that causes more dissatisfaction, and that causes even further postponement of the result that you want, because you simply cannot accept the fact of the reality as it is now. So if you act from your essence, you accept whatever it is at the moment, whatever you are getting. So that's one of the fundamental differences how you can say where you are. Another thing, how you can see where you are. Your ego is always ungrateful. Your personal self is always dissatisfied, coming back to the emotional aspect. It's always dissatisfied with whatever it has, even if it sits on a golden throne, even if it reaches top things you can reach in the world, your personal self will be dissatisfied because that's its nature. It's never satisfied and it's never grateful. So when you are taking things for granted, whatever you have in your life, if you take things for granted, if you take for granted people who surround you at this point of time in your life, you take for granted your partner, if you take for granted everything that you've been given at this point of time, you are being in your personal self, or you're being in your ego. Now, when you are in your essence, you are grateful for whatever you have. And that's one of the things how you can get more, is by being grateful for what you have now. Because if you are not grateful for what you have now, you will not be given more. As simple as that. So another thing how you can say where you are is you're always repeating past mistakes. You are repeating the past circumstances of your life, past arguments, in the present moment. And if you catch yourself doing that, the way how you can change the situation is by shifting the way you react to that, by going beyond your reactions, your normal reactions that you produce in the given situation. Now, for example, if a situation triggers you, for example, and it triggers certain element of yourself that needs to be transcended, and what you do is if you stop reacting in your usual way, whatever it is, you react with irritation, you react with anger, you react with resentment, you shift it. You don't give in to that reaction, and then in that moment you have an opportunity to shift deeper in yourself, because you've given up a part of your personal identity, a part of your ego that was reacting in a certain way, and you grew more in self-knowledge and merged deeper within yourself. So your essence does not have any triggers. When you are in your essence, you are not getting triggered. Now, I'm talking about the state of your essence where you are quite deeply immersed within yourself. As I said, there are stages of growth, and you need to go through the stages, and in your case your stages will be different from anyone else's. So the way you grow deeper, in essence, how you can say, is that you start to see that you do not have any emotional triggers, or they are getting much less. Now that can be quite a challenging task for many, but that is the way how you progress, and how you can truly say that yes, I am in my essence. There is nothing that triggers me. Now, how is it like when you are deeply immersed in your essence? First of all, you are still silent, and there is nothing arising in you. Nothing arising meaning there is no disturbance in you. There is no emotional disturbance in you. There is no mental disturbance in you. You are always present. You are always present now. And you are fully attending to the situation that is in front of you at this point of time. You don't wish to be anywhere else. You don't wish to be with someone else. You don't have any emotional wants. Now you can have wants, but the wants that are coming from your essence are absolutely different than the ones that are coming from your personal self. Because the ones coming from your personal self, they are coming from the lack. Your personal self always lacks things, that's why it wants. It wants and wants and wants and wants. Your essence is fulfilled. And that's another thing how you can say where you are. If you are feeling discontented and dissatisfied, and you are looking for fulfillment by doing things, you are in your personal self. You are in your ego. If you are trying to achieve things to become someone, you are in your ego. because your essence is fulfilled by the mere fact that you are. That's how you know. So you are fulfilled, you are present, you you act as needed. There is no chaotic activity about you. There is a lot of spaciousness. There is a lot of flow happening in your actions. You don't do things that are not needed. And of course, that's a higher state of consciousness, that you cannot jump from one day of being in your mind and emotions into the second day you live in your essence. It does not happen like that, because to shift into your essence is a profound change in your physiology. Even your nervous system is functioning differently, your glandular system is functioning differently, your brain is functioning differently. It's a totally different state of perception. So the gradual growth, that's what you are going through. And grow by growth, I mean the gradual deepening. And that is the process that I'm taking my clients through, because you need guidance to go through that process. You cannot go through this process by yourself. You will be lost, because your mind will take you through all different directions and will hinder the process, and then you will be confused, and you would not know where you stand. So you do need support. I can't even think how you can uh, grow into being yourself without the guidance, because uh, it is so easy to go with your mind, to go with the old ways of operating, with old conditioning, with old patterns, that it's not so easy to grow smoothly into your essence, and you need support. And if you think that you don't need support, that's actually one of the signs of the personal self or ego that doesn't want you to grow, because your ego thinks that it can do everything by itself. You can't. You can't. I couldn't. I needed support. And you need support as well, until the time that you don't need support. And that is the time where you are firmly embodying and being who you are. Then you don't need support. And if you are someone who wants to grow deeper in your essence, who wants support, who wants to receive guidance and grow into that in a smooth manner, and to avoid all the distractions, to avoid all going backwards and forwards, to avoid the confusion, who wants to grow deeper and deeper within by being supported and held in that energy of essence, because you need that energy to support you and to help you to grow in your own essence. So if you would love that support, I invite you to send me a message. I have an opening for one-to-one mentorship, which I call Essence Mentorship, and that's exactly to embody the essence that you are. So we go through all the stages with you, we grow together with you, and we expand into the highest possibility of yourself. So if that resonates deep in your heart, I invite you to send me a message, and I look forward to meeting you and to answer any questions that you may have. So thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for those who briefly joined me live. If you have any comments, if you are watching this in replay, please leave them underneath the video. I'm always reading them, and I'm always responding to them. So thank you so much once again. Have a wonderful evening or day wherever you are in your time zone, and I look forward to seeing you soon.